2 of Diluting Al-Wala Wal-Bara, part of the Right Belief series, the Unveiled Trilogy, written by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid. This book will focus on awakening the faith in a non-faith-centered world. Explained, broken down, and brought to you, unlike before, by Ustada lailanasheeba. Join us Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on Sunnah Followers.
Ina alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam ala wa rasulullah. Welcome to our series of Aqidah entitled Diluting Wala Wal Bara. And we've been speaking in detail based on the book written by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid about the fitra, the human fitra, and how its light can be easily diminished depending on our environment, depending on the people we are surrounded by, depending on whether or not we're seeking knowledge of Islam, and also whether or not we're strong enough to refute the whispers of our personal jinn. So that's what we've been speaking about for the past 2 weeks, the fitra of the human. And that fitra can be extinguished. It's lying in our heart right now. It was transferred from the soul to the heart when Allah, once you were in the womb of your mother. Today, we're going to speak about 2 other dangers of the fitra: heedlessness and forgetfulness. And let me put the PowerPoint up on the screen. And I want everyone to, as usual, screenshot everything, because this is a very complex topic. Most Muslims in the world don't understand the fitra. That's why y'all call yourselves reverts instead of converts. If you understood the fitra, you know that you are not a revert. You are a convert to this religion. But anyway, let me start off by sharing to the YouTube people. I mean, that's my Zoom room, people. That's YouTube. I'm sharing you guys to YouTube. And for the rest of us, wrong thing. Let me hit this. Give me a second. I'm hitting this, and inshallah, my PowerPoint should appear on there it is, computer. Take it full screen. Take it here. Layla, you ready? Yeah, ready. And this is what we're going to be speaking about today. The fitra, that inner light that exists in our heart, that inner light that is always seeking the presence of Allah, because it's the only part of the soul that is good. That's why it's transferred to the heart when you were in your mom's womb. And it can't remember what went on when it was up there with Allah, kept in wherever Allah keeps the souls. All it knows is it's craving his presence. It believes in him and it's craving his presence. But there are certain things and actions that we indulge in as Muslims that go against the fitra and will damn us to the hellfire. And we're going to speak about, and these are pages 40 through 43. We're covering pages 40 through 39. 39, I mean 39, I got the wrong, it's 38, guys. Pages 38 through 43. I wrote 40 to 43. It's pages 38 through 43. The part that speaks about heedlessness. That's where we'll be starting today. Okay? All right. What is heedlessness? Heedlessness is also known in the Arabic world as the Arabic word or Arabic language as ghafla. Ghafla. And this occurs when we favor the life of this world over Allah. Whenever we love things here more than Allah, whenever we choose anything from this world over Allah, we lose connection with Him. And remember, that's what the fitra is striving for, that to keep that connection with Allah. And whenever we lose that connection with Allah, that's when we end up giving into the evil of the soul, and we lose our common sense. We lose our moral judgment. And you see it like when Muslims argue. When you see people arguing over the religion, they start making silly comments. It's irrational comments, irrational thoughts. Well, arguing about this religion helps break the tie to Allah, because Allah hates that. You lose, your connection to Allah. So your common sense leaves you. You start saying things that don't make sense, and you lose your moral judgment to the point where you can even kill someone or hurt someone. So it's important for us as Muslims to try to keep our mind, focused on Allah, because that helps keep that connection with Him from breaking. It helps to allow the fitra to make better choices for us in this world. Because remember, although the human soul is attracted to what's bad and dirty because it's criminal and curious by nature, that fitra that's left, that used to be a part of it, that's now in the heart, is attracted to what's good and clean. It's attracted to the truth. Okay? To neglect our fitra and give in to the worldly desires, the worldly cravings, this is what leads to our destructions. This is what causes us to end up in hell. Okay? So that's what heedlessness, and take a screenshot of this page. Heedlessness, this happens when we choose this world over Allah. For example, that smoking marijuana is haram. You know that. We've told you that the Prophet said anything that intoxicates the brain is haram. He doesn't have to mention cocaine by name. Because cocaine is an intoxicant, so it's haram. Just like you brothers and sisters know that wearing dreadlocks is haram. I've proven it to you guys. I've given you dalil, clear hadith, where the Prophet said, do not allow your hair to knot up like that. Anyone with hair has to comb through it. You're not combing through dreadlocks. You have to oil it, grease it, wash it, even though I've given you the evidence. And the Prophet said that that's how the jinn wear their hair. The Prophet said, be the opposite of the jinn. I've given you all those clear proofs. But you are still heedless. That means you're choosing your dreadlocks over Allah. That's heedlessness. It's when you know the truth. You know that something is wrong, but you're going to choose it over what Allah says. A lot of us Muslims today suffer with heedlessness. And this is why Allah has sent all the trials and tribulations upon us. Because whenever we deliberately, intentionally disobey Allah, He tells us there will always be chaos and consequences to pay. So we have to stop disregarding our fitra. We have to accept the things that we know are true, that we know are right, even if your evil soul is telling you to ignore it. Because it will cause you to spiral. It starts off with you wearing dreadlocks. Then you'll get lazy and won't want to take a bath, a ghusl. You got to be at work. You don't have time for a ghusl after having relations with your wife. So you say, okay, I'll take a ghusl when I get to work some type of way. So you leave without a ghusl. It all started with the dreadlocks. Because once we disregard our fitra, your jinn gets happy and he keeps whispering and keeps whispering. He becomes stronger and stronger against you. And remember, we talked about yesterday how the only Muslims that are protected from their jinn are those who truly believe in Allah and submit to him. Okay? So, heedlessness, that stands in the way of our connecting to Allah. Heedlessness is the fourth main reason as to why many people's light within them, the fitra, burns out. Does everybody understand that? Screenshot this page now. Now let's go to the next one. I want y'all to focus on these words of Allah. Allah tells us in the interpretation of the meaning, and remember when your Lord brought forth from the children of Adam, from their loins, their seed, the offspring of Adam, and made them testify, saying, am I not your Lord? They said, yes, we testified. Here's that verse of the Quran again, where Allah is telling us that our souls were created right after he created Adam. Centuries, millions of years ago. My soul, your soul, we were created right after Adam. And Allah brought all our souls together on Mount Arafat and made us testify to La ilaha illallah. So when you guys call yourselves reverts, you say that you are reverting to a soul. It's centuries ago. That's why revert is not the word. You're a convert to this religion. Umpteen million years ago, when Allah created Adam, we testified to his existence. We testified to his omnipotence. And we also accepted that free will. And because of that, that's why we're held accountable. And the animals who have souls are not. And the birds are not. They didn't accept the free will. This verse here serves as a reminder that every human being ever created possesses that inner light of the fitra. The fitra is the knowledge that Allah is Allah. So all of us, we come into this world desiring, craving to submit to Allah. But our parents raise us otherwise. But even though our parents may raise us otherwise, it's still incumbent upon us and our journey through life to seek that connection to Allah and to not be heedless in that endeavor. A lot of us Muslims are heedless. Marijuana, dreadlocks, boyfriend and girlfriends on the internet, talking to the men and women on the internet, not getting married the way Allah commanded us, not having your father be the one to marry you, like Allah says. So we are heedless to our fitra. And that's why there'll be a lot of us in hell. Most of us, unfortunately, will be in hell. All right. So heedlessness is one of the dangers of this world that can destroy the fitra, and also forgetfulness. Forgetfulness, this is a human characteristic. Allah tells us in the Quran that we were created to be forgetful. That's just part of being human. And it also poses a danger that can compromise our inner light, that fitra. Listen to this hadith. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, here's the hadith. When Allah created Adam, he wiped his back, and every person that he created from his offspring till the day of judgment fell out of his back. That's the soul. He placed a ray of light between the eyes of every one of those people. Then he showed them to Adam, and he said, "Oh Lord." Adam said, "Who are these people?" And Allah said, "They are your offspring." Adam saw one of those souls whose eyes amazed him because the light in that forehead burned so brightly. So he said, "Oh Allah, who is that?" And Allah said, "This is a man from your later generations, and he is of your offspring. He's called David." And Adam said, "Oh Allah, how long did you make him to live on earth?" Allah said, 60 years. Adam said, "Oh Allah, give him 40 years from me. Take 40 years of my life from me to add to him." And Allah did. So when the time came for Adam to die, the angel of death came to him. Adam said, "Wait a minute, it ain't time to go. I got 40 years left." The angel of death said, "Don't you remember? You gave 40 years of your life to your offspring, David." Adam said, "No, I didn't. I don't remember doing that." And that's why from that day forward, guys, we forget. We forget. So it's part of the human nature to forget. Adam forgot that he gave 40 years of his life to Dawood, Prophet David, alayhi salam. And so that's why we forget. Adam sinned, so his offspring sins. This hadith is the explanation of the verse that I just read to you, and also more. Like I tell you guys, you cannot teach yourself this religion. You cannot pick up hadith books and start reading and think you know what Allah is talking about. You have to learn from the people of knowledge. Because one little hadith you read is probably part of a 15-page khutbah that the Prophet gave. The Prophet gave khutbahs every morning after Fajr. He'd sit there teaching his companions. You're only getting a sentence of a 50-page khutbah. Subhanallah. Learn from the people of knowledge. Don't sit there twisting these hadiths around trying to figure them out on your own. I didn't teach myself. I learned from 2 of the best scholars of hadith. 3. All my teachers were sheikhs, real scholars of the ulama. You've heard of every single one of them. They were famous. They were true ulama. And they were all scholars of hadith, Quran, and the Arabic language. So I didn't teach myself. What I'm teaching you is what I learned from the true scholars of this ulama. Okay? So don't do that, people. Stop taking these hadiths and changing the meaning, thinking you can understand what's going on. You have to learn from the people of knowledge, just like I did. And I'm still doing. Okay? So forgetfulness, this is a human characteristic that we all have within us, and it will always pose a danger to us. It can compromise our fitra. Okay? So we have to be careful to work on being more mindful of the things we do. Be mindful of the things we say. Don't speak like Adam did in haste. Adam was so attracted to the beauty of his offspring, David, that he spoke in haste, not knowing that the one thing that the human being does fear other than Allah is death. The human being doesn't want to die. It fears death. So when the time of death came, Adam forgot what he had did out of haste. So we learn from that lesson, guys, as the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told the companions in this authentic hadith, which goes on, he told them, always think before you speak. Be mindful of what you say. Be more mindful of what you do, especially when you make commitments to others, especially when you promise others. This is also the time that the Prophet spoke about the importance of keeping our promises, keeping our words. Think before you speak. Remember, on the day of judgment, we will be held accountable for the promises we make, the responsibilities and commitments that we put ourselves in. We're held accountable. Even our father Adam was. Adam, you said to give him 40 years. I did. I gave you what you wanted. Just because you forgot doesn't mean I'm going to take it back. You gave 40 years of your life to him because you were attracted to his beauty. So it's done. So it is written, so it is done. So be mindful. Don't be so forgetful, guys. Don't make promises we can't keep. Don't make commitments we can't keep. Okay? So these are things that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us, in addition to what we've discussed the other days of what can diminish our fitra, heedlessness, and most of us suffer with that. We don't want to accept the truth, and we know the truth. We're going to still pick and choose. That's heedlessness. And then we forget. We have to do like the companions did. When the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam explained these things to them, they made dua. They used to make dua asking Allah to not allow them to be so quick to forget. Like I tell you guys, every one of you as my students should be making dua, asking Allah to give you understanding of this religion. Because all of you are memorizing, but how many of you have understanding? You can't answer my questions correctly. You can't articulate. Make dua like the companions did. Ask Allah to give you the ability to understand this religion and act upon it well and articulate it to your children well. Okay? Take a screenshot of this. All right? Now, we get to the quiz. Like I told you, we get to the quiz. Here's the first question. How does a person who is heedless behave? What does it mean to be heedless? In other words, I'm asking you, what is a heedless person? Who can give me the answer? What is a heedless person? Come on, we got another class. What is a heedless person, guys? Come on, wake up. Let's hear it.
A heedless person is a person who knows that they're not supposed to do something, but they do it anyways, and they don't care.
Exactly. They're basically choosing their desires and their likes and their dislikes over Allah and what he likes and what he dislikes. Good job. And this is the last question. How does forgetfulness dim the light of the fitra? How does being forgetful, why is being forgetful so bad, in other words? How does forgetfulness dim the light of the fitra? Come on, guys. I got to set up for Jamali. How does being forgetful impact your connection to Allah? What does it cause you to do? Forgetful people forget what? What are you forgetting that can destroy your commitment and relationship with Allah? We forget what? How do we forget? What causes us to forget? What did Adam do? Why did he Say what he said. Why did he give his years away? Come on, guys. I'm trying to give y'all clues as to how to answer. Norto, let's hear from you. Meliun, if y'all in there. Yasmin. I can't see who's there, but I'm just calling out names. Let me hear from the youth. Hawa. Rockmo. Marianne. Khadijah, how does forgetfulness dim your light? Anyone else? Geechee. Y'all don't know? See how we forget? That's an example as to how. Forgetfulness dims the light because it can make you forget your commitments, forget your obligations, forget what Allah said. And these are the things that can save you from the hellfire. Forgetfulness will also cause us to make rash decisions, to make quick judgments that maybe we shouldn't have made. You know, we have to work on that, guys. Not being, first of all, think before we make commitments and volunteer and make, you know, promises that we may not be able to keep. Forgetfulness stands in the way of us making proper decisions. Forgetfulness leads to heedlessness. Forgetfulness leads to sin. Y'all need to make that dua, asking like the Prophet taught the companions to make, asking Allah to keep me from forgetting. Keep my mind fresh with remembrance. Yeah, okay. Any other questions?